Okay. All right. I think I'm live. I think I'm live. Yeah. All right. I am alive, y'all. So, I know we got interrupted with the earlier stream, with the combination of Eco Neighbor and myself. So, as you come in, please let me know that you can hear me well, that you can see me, that we're not having any of the issues that we were running into earlier on the live stream. I know that you all could not really hear me at the time, that I was really, really in and out. So just let me know as you come into the room that you can hear me. I'm going to try to get live on my other phone, and that way I can see the comments. Because oh, I see the comments now. I see the comments now. I see the comments now. Okay. So let me see. I'm on my cell phone this time. So, how in the world am I going to be able to share this link with Eco Neighbor? Post a comment. There we go. See, you just have to play with it a little bit. Let's see if I can. Hey, Roots to a Garden. How you doing? Hey, you learn with Robert. How are you? Good to see you. All right, I'm gonna post the link in the chat so Eco Neighbor can come up here. Hi, Brenda Hogan. How you doing? Cheryl Faulkner, how you doing? Kathy B, hey there. How are you? Good to see you. Sweet Thumb, hey there. How are you doing? Green Grass Grows, hello, hello. How you doing? Um, Mystic Zen, happy Sunday. How are you? Good to see you. So, Eco Neighbor, if you're there and you're able to come up, then I posted the link in the chat, I believe. Let me just look back and make sure I did. Yeah, I did. Let me see if I can pin it. And that way, well, I'm going to star it because that's the only option that I see. And so hopefully you will be able to see them. But y'all, we were talking earlier, and I'm having to hold my phone because for some reason my rotation is, it's like locked and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what else to do with it. But y'all can hear me okay? The live stream sounds okay. Hi there, Desiree Robertson. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Bell's Backyard Garden. How you doing? All right. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back, guys, and tell you a little bit about what I was talking about earlier. Great, great, great. All right, so I had to switch phones because, like I said, that iPhone is full, and I'm not turning in my iPhone. I'm just not. I'm going to get another one, but I'm just not giving them back my iPhone because I have all of like my grandbaby's pictures and videos and all of that stuff in here. So I'm just gonna hold on to it. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get rid of my iPhone, and I typically keep my phones anyway. But anyway, I was telling y'all about earlier, about the watermelons. We got this watermelon. The watermelon turned out to be delicious, even though it was not 100% fully ripe. It was still red on the inside, but I could tell that it just needed like another week or so in order to be able to like really be as delicious as it was going to be. But it was so nice and sweet that all of us really enjoyed it. We weren't able to share with any other family members because it was still a like a small watermelon. And I know for certain that that was one of the watermelons, y'all, that I bought from the store, the same store that I was telling y'all about earlier on the earlier live stream. And that was the I can never remember the name of that store, but they don't sell a lot of the like really popular name brand stuff. Grocery outlet is what it was. They don't sell a lot of the really popular name brands of food. But what they do is they work with local farmers, just like Piggly Wiggly. They work with the local farmers to get the best and freshest fruit that they can sell at a still reasonable price. So when I want to get something at a really reasonable price, that's where I go. I go to the grocery outlet. And I went up there because I'm right now, I am in make tincture mode. So I got my molasses, the unsulfured molasses. Um, I got my cilantro is dead to the world right now. And it'll probably come back when the weather gets a little bit cooler. Um, and same with the celery. So I was able to get a couple of little small pieces off of my celery that I grow. And the cilantro, I wasn't able to get any. So I bought cilantro. I did buy some celery as well so that I can make some different tinctures. I'm going to make a variety of tinctures and infusions this year because there's a lot going on out here. And that's why I was asking, were y'all ready? Were y'all ready? Are y'all ready for the mess that is coming towards us? But let me back up a little bit and let me tell you all about what I was trying to say when my phone was going in and out earlier. And Miss Exan said the second time hearing about grocery outlet this week. Yeah, if you want some fresh fruit and vegetables, hey, veggie farming, how you doing? If you want fresh fruit and vegetables and you don't want to have to pay an arm and a leg for them, and many times they'll work with the local farmers, you want to go to the grocery outlet, you want to go to your Piggly Wiggly stores. If you have Piggly Wiggly, I know that's like a South thing, like a real South thing. So I'm not sure if they are in other parts of the country or not. But those are two stores where anytime you want a seeded watermelon, you want seeded grapes, you want anything that has seeds in it. Those are the stores that we are able to go through. Now, I know there are also food for less. If y'all tell me which one y'all have, if y'all have the food for less stores versus the grocery outlet. Let me know which ones that you have in your area. Bell's Backyard Garden, welcome back, sis. Welcome back. Hi, Growing with Hudson. How you doing? Welcome back. Virtuous Gardening and more. Shalom. How you doing? Good to see you. You look so cute with that little baby bump. I love it. I love it. Thank you for coming in. It's so good to see you. But when you want those, that's where you want to go. You want to go to those stores that don't sell like the major brands. If you can get in to those stores, then you'll be able to find some of the stuff that you want. Let me see. Oh, my baby is wait. Eco Nate. You gonna respell your name? I'm gonna add you. I didn't realize you were there. See, I'm on the phone.
Yeah, that's the way you always
And
are.
I didn't realize. I'm sorry, baby.
You ain't sorry. You
I
sent me
didn't
an
know
invite.
you were sitting there.
You told me to
I
come over,
did, but
and you didn't even answer the
I was.
door. I rung the doorbell, but you didn't even answer the door. I text you, but you ain't even return my text.
I'm sorry. It be like
I
that
even,
sometimes.
I even, I even DM you, and you ignored my DM. You didn't even look at it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
How you
You
doing?
done? You finished or you done? Which one?
I let that go. I let that go.
Okay. 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 I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad you're back so that we can finish the conversation because I know you had some things that you wanted to say earlier for
Yeah,
Eco Nation News.
And you know, life
And
happens sometimes too, where I sat here and tried to time out when I would arrive here and be in my spot and go live and all of that, and it still didn't work out. So I apologize that that live was kind of like off kilter. My goal was to have it planned. I didn't have it at the normal time because I knew I would be traveling. But then my goal was to be in place, but it just didn't work out. Life happens sometimes. So I do apologize to you
well,
all.
you wouldn't have been off kilter if you would have just left on time like you were supposed to. You wouldn't have been off. You know what Uncle used to tell? Uncle used to try to tell you about being off kilter all the time. You need to go ahead and get on the road, get started, get moving. Don't be late. Go on and get on the road.
I ain't gonna say nothing about that. Ain't even gonna comment on that. Yep.
All
All
right.
right. Comment on that.
Hey,
Yield not.
family man. How you doing, family man? Good to see you in the chat. Roots to a garden. I know.
One thing
Yeah,
I don't
Pastor
like
B.
about this stream, y'all, I can't see the chat.
You can't see the chat? Oh my gosh.
Nah.
Okay, well, I'll talk through the chat for you because it's like my chat is bigger than us right now. So I can actually see the chat without glasses right now because the chat is on this cell phone. It's bigger than our photos are right now.
Okay, I think I just got the chat where I'm able to do it. But now
Okay.
it says, okay, hold on for 1 second. Connect. I'm gonna try this.
Hey
Okay.
Erica, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat.
Hopefully it won't knock me out here.
Okay, I'll bring you back if it knocks you out.
Okay, now let me see if I can go back to the live stream and see the chat.
I can still see you.
You can?
Yeah.
But I can't see you though. That's my problem.
Oh, my bad.
So yeah, I'm just trying to have best of both worlds without me kind of toggling, where I can see the chat and then at the same time see the live stream.
Oh, okay. Well, you just may not be able to do that
It is what it is. Nevertheless, it is
as
what
the
it is.
guest on. So how is your room?
It's yeah, it ain't Florida. I'm in ATL. It ain't Florida. But it's pretty good. The
Okay.
the
Okay.
view for some people may be beautiful. I don't really like it because I'm too high. And
You need some trees, don't you? You don't have no
yeah,
trees.
man, I'm like, where the trees at, man? And then it's like all I see is city, city,
Building.
city, city.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I said, it may be cool. It may be cool for some. There go some trees down there though.
It's a few of them
Yeah, it's a few trees down there. But
beyond the
it
bridge.
ain't it ain't you know how I like to do it. You already
Yeah.
know how I like it. I like it
Yeah.
when it's real nice and wooded and you know all of that good stuff. But nevertheless, what were we talking
Never
about?
done. Um, okay, so well, if you weren't going to be able to come in, I was going to be able to talk about this nonsense that's going on in the world. But if you wanted to continue with the conversation, um,
No, this
that
your
you
life.
were
I'm following you. I'm following
that
you.
you
This your
wanted
life.
to discuss, okay. But but anyway, it's going to affect you anyway. It's going to affect
Okay.
you anyway. Cheryl said you need an Airbnb, and Growing with Hudson says I just left Georgia yesterday.
What's up? That what's up, man?
Bell's backyard garden said the ATL slander.
Hey, a lot of people love this city. You know what I'm saying? I remember this city when the buildings went so high, but it's like
Yeah,
it's amazing from the 1980s ATL to right now. It's like night and day. But it's all
I
good if you
know.
it's all good if you're into this thing. But I'm a country boy by heart. I mean, that's all
I
I
mean,
know.
but who knows? Who knows? I mean, you
Who knows
open,
what?
you mind open, you might end up in the ATL one day.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Be
I highly
rich.
doubt.
Hi, be rich. How are you doing? Thank you for the
What's
super
up, B
chat.
Rich? What's going on, man?
Hot Lanta, yes, Robert, yes, Hot Lanta for sure.
Yeah. But
Yeah. So,
but so what you was talking about now?
all right.
What's going
So
on in the world?
I was coming in to check on the people. Listen, I've been had my little break. I took my break. I did what I needed to do. I've been taking care of myself. I have been only doing on social media what I wanted to do on social media and not doing anything that I was required to do. So I just needed to take my time and just get me some me time in, catch up with some friends, and that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
but now, are y'all seeing what the heck is going on out here? Are y'all seeing what is going on in our world? I don't know about y'all gas prices, but our gas prices are getting it. They getting it. They keep going up and they keep going up, and then all of a sudden they'll go down and make us think that they're going to stay down, but they're not. I'm paying $4 per gallon for plus for mid grade, whatever octane it is. I'm paying $4 per gallon in my car
Hmm.
because, you know, I have to use that mid grade in my car. I can't use the regular gas in my car. So everything else though for the regular, we're paying about $3.60 on average, right? Eco,
Yeah.
we're paying
Yeah.
about $3.60 on
Now,
average.
now, now we did get down to like 340, which was a good thing. But yeah,
But
I
how
don't think
long did
that.
that last?
Oh, not long. But I want to say it's a lot of people. They say that I heard a YouTuber. He's a finance guy. He said that the average saving since 2021, the average saving was like $2.3 trillion for the average American saving on the average. I mean, not average, but total savings, like I think it was 3.2 trillion. And now they say by October it will go at the rate that it's going, it will drop down to like 2.1 billion. And
And
to some people, that may seems like it's still good, but if you break down the number of people, that's
right,
telling us that's a good indicator that coming into this fall that we're really not going to have no money in the bank. We're not going to be able to have anything to fall back on if things tear up or break. We did good with savings during the pandemic and after the pandemic, but now as we moving forward, that tells you how about inflation. To be able to, I said trillion the first number, and now I'm going all the way down to billion on this next number. That is major for the average American household. We are truly are in a midst of, I pray and I hope I don't get another bump in the road. I pray and I hope nothing tears up. I pray and I hope that everyone stays healthy. I pray and I hope that I don't lose my job. And we're watching job closures. We're watching transportation issues. So the supply chain is being interrupted. We're watching a lot of different things going on. And what concerns me is I'm hoping that over these years that we've been on this YouTube, that people really been listening, far as preparing themselves, learning and cultivating their crafts to the part where they get really efficient. And I'm hoping that we won't be as heavily impacted through us being prepared and really positioning ourselves in a better way, you know.
I completely agree. Desiree Robertson, beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you,
Let me
Desiree.
say hello to a couple of people popping in. David, how you doing? Rambo Green Hands, how you doing? Good to see you, brother.
So,
Ze, how you doing? Ze made a statement, and I wanted to go back to. Let me see if I can find it without messing nothing up. ZE said, ask the universe, something like ask the universe. Oh, there it is. Ask the universe how it can send you a gift to give you an abundance of money. Listen, universe, if you're listening to ZE, ZE is speaking. ZE is
yeah,
speaking on my
that's crazy.
behalf.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But listen, but here's the thing that God has been dealing with me lately as an individual, as a person. And, and I think that is the way that today I'm able to come on here and do a live stream. And I haven't been able to really do a live stream because I have been I needed to just take a break. I needed to really just get some energy back and really slow down, just slow down. And sometimes you got to slow down and you have to listen to what God is trying to say to you. And so I feel, I just feel so much more energized today, kind of like my old self, but somebody new. Because I think when you get ready to, like, really, we sometimes we think that we truly are like devoted to what God wants from us until it interferes with what we want as individuals. And so for me, I think that's where I was. I think I was worried too much about what I can control instead of being saying, God, here I am, just use me. I'm open and I'm ready. I'm ready for you to use me for however it glorifies you. And so now I just feel like I needed that. I needed that time in order to just hear, in order to listen. My best friend used to always have this saying on her email signature, and it said, in order to hear the voice of God, you have to turn down the world's noise.
Mm.
And so, if that explains it, that's kind of, where I felt like I was at. I felt like there was just too much noise. There was just too much other stuff happening that was taking my focus away from where it should have been. So here we go. We're here. We're here. So right now, David, yes, David, family structure is absolutely gone. But I am so confident that we're going to be able to get that back. We're going to be able to rebuild that. And let me go right back to what you were saying, Eco, when you were saying that, um, talking about the numbers, talking about people actually not having any money. Those are some of the advertisements that I had been seeing, was that most people by October 2023, less than a month away, like 2 weeks away from us, saying that most people are going to be broke.
You
Now,
know, now you're gonna make me go into my live, and I don't want to do that.
no,
But
you can do that. That's why we're here talking. That's why I invited you up, because I knew you had some stuff up your sleeve.
so so I've been inspired, and I was on my trip up here. In the country, you got time to think. I'm gonna start hating on cities. I'm gonna start hating on cities. But seriously, uh, the topic in my brain, in my spirit, came up about need. I want to ask you all. I get it. We need God. I get it. We need family and this and that. But seriously, I want you to take a self evaluation about what do you need. You know, and if you break down this layer in life, you spend a lot of your time working. Okay, you're working for what? Do you need 5,000 square feet? Do you need 2,500? Do you need 1,200 square feet?
Hmm.
Um, do you need a certain version of iPhone or 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 Galaxy, Samsung phone? Um, do you need even YouTube? Do you need cable? Do you need that extra membership, or do you need this and do you need that? We got to ask ourselves the question: what really do we need? Let's get back to basics. And the reason why I'm saying that, it doesn't mean that you live in a life of just minimalist. Like I'm just gonna live like what we live in right now. You know what I'm saying? What it does is it keeps you from losing your withal. And what I mean by with your withal, it's a lot of people going through a lot of stress, people getting
Mm,
emergency calls, people having panic attacks, people having high blood pressure. They're not taking care of themselves because they rushing, they going. And then I ask you the question, what do you need? Because some of this stuff we should be able to walk away from.
mm,
And we shouldn't feel like some of the stuff that we walk away from that we need it. It should be it needs us.
mm,
Um, we've gotten to the part where we feel like the things that we consume, the things that we take on a daily basis, the thing we work for, and we sacrifice our lives and our family and our relationships and our quality time in life. We focus a lot on things that we think we need, but in essence, do we really need them?
mm,
And it should. I think we need to replace and reorganize our lives in many cases to allow the things that we think we need. They should need us in the opposite. And so,
mm,
like I said, I don't want to go through, because you got a different direction that you want to go to. But I just wanted to share that with you all to kind of do the examination because we've been here multiple times where times get tight. And I couldn't imagine having families who raising kids and oh my God, single parents. I don't care whether you're a male, female, or what have you. Single parents, it is hard. And if you're living by yourself trying to raise your kids and you're trying to take, I tip my hats off to you. It's not
mm,
easy. And you are working tirelessly, but you're trying to keep that balance of being there for your kids, raising your kids, and then you have all these other distractions and you working tirelessly and you still barely getting by if you're getting by. And then we watching people who just working, they just they did the education piece, they did the career path piece, they worked hard and they wanted to have some nice things in life. They didn't go overboard, but then they finding themselves in a situation where I get it, we got something nice, we better than the average, but we worked hard for this and we done everything right. And why am I not where I feel like I should be? Why am I still feel like I'm struggling? We went to college. We did this. We took on these work tasks, these programs, and we did these certifications. And I'm making good money compared to the average person. But why am I still struggling? And then I asked you before you get so frustrated in life and before you feel like you just ready to throw up your hands, I'm asking you to release some of the stuff that you think you need and just remember, this is temporarily. Everything I'm talking about is not that mean that this is me giving up on everything, but you got to understand your if you're not healthy for your family, then what you doing to your family? You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be some disappointments, y'all. It's gonna be some letdowns. And for those old school bros, for the old school bros that believe in providing for their family, taking care of their family, sometimes it's a reason why you married, right? It's a reason why you took on a relationship with somebody, and they should be willing to step in and help. But you got to be able and humble enough to say, I need a little help.
mm,
I've been taking care of things. I know but I need a little help. But now, one thing about a man, well, some men, I'm going to just say some men don't like the fact that they need help. Some and I've been there. Like the fact of that I have to need some help from somebody, that compromise what I feel like is my integrity as a man. But it doesn't mean that it's permanent. It can be just only for a matter of time. And I'm just saying to you strong men, don't give up. Get a little help. Get on your feet and have some conversations and have some transparency with your family. Have some true transparency with the people that you love and let them know that, hey, we may have to send this back or we may have to take out some money out of the bank and then pay down on this car payment and we may have to sell it so that we can get out from abundance. We may have to get rid of this bike or we may have to get rid of this classic car, this boat or these side by side just for a little while. Doesn't mean that we won't get it back again, but because you can get it back. Anything that you can think of, dream of, obtain, anything that you already had, you can always get it in multiple fold. You can get it to another level. Trust me. And my thing is, don't let this stuff wear you down. I'm not saying cave in and get up. Be noble about what you're doing. Don't just let it be repo. Find ways to get up under it and still maintain your credit score, still maintain this and that, but get creative and get rid of that thing we call pride and understand that it's about the winning this war of life rather than winning every single battle. You know what I'm saying? How do you get up after being knocked down? If you ain't never been knocked down, you don't know how to get up. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And I'm not saying voluntarily be knocked down, but sometimes just like Muhammad Ali, the great Muhammad Ali, sometimes you got to do okie doke. Sometimes you got to lean on that rope, bounce back on that rope, and then just till you regain yourself, take a few hits, take a few punches, just till you regain yourself because you done practice for this thing. You built strong. Just take those few little punches. You rather do that than try to recover from a knockout because when you knocked out you always gonna have that in front of your mind, and it's gonna slow you down from pursuing future goals and future dreams. So do a little rope dope, do a little rope dope. You know what I'm saying? Take in a little bit, and then regain, get your breath, and then get back in there. Because I'm just saying, I've been warning people for a while that things gonna get tight, and things are getting tight. But one thing about us, we are resilient, we are strong, but we got to play chess and not checkers.
And one of the things that I had been listening to people say, and it's true to a point, about the poor people, saying that, okay, the poor are going to be just fine. But let me tell you why not necessarily. Because now the price of ramen noodles have even gone up. The price of canned beans have gone up. The price of rice has gone up. The price of chicken has gone up. The price of hot dogs and bread and ketchup and everything else have gone up. But guess what is happening behind the scenes? So I happen to know somebody. We always got WIC for our children. Every time I got pregnant, that was one of the things. I didn't care whether we were making money or not. I went to the WIC office. This was back in, the 90s and early 2000s. I made sure I went to the WIC office and I made sure that I got vouchers so that we could get milk and cheese and fresh fruit and vegetables and all of that stuff. Because here they would send us to the farmers market. So if there was a farmers market that was anywhere around, I would go to those farmers markets. And that's what I was going to use the majority of my vouchers at the farmers market because I just happen to love fresh fruit and vegetables. And so we went to, and you remember we used to have so much milk before I stopped drinking, before I took the cow's milk out of the house. We used to have so much milk from WIC that we froze it. We used to freeze the milk. Okay. um, and so we just had so much of it. But went to now knowing people who are having children, childbearing age, getting WIC now. And guess what they did? They diminished the amount that they were giving. This one young lady who called me and was telling me about how they reduced the amount of fresh fruit and vegetables that they were getting from like $44 per month to $11 per month.
But
Do
yet,
you
but yet, but
understand?
yet, but yet, prices are going up though.
And that's what I'm saying. So the poor people now are not going to be okay either. Because now, if you're taking away some of the basics from those people and from the old people who can't work, from those young mothers who have children, who have little children that cannot afford to have, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait a minute.
Somebody said, and I'm trying to go in here. See, I have to get off the live to look at the chat on my phone, but I did see one comment, and that I wanted to kind of touch on. I can't remember who said it, but it was talking about look at the price of pig parts, and it's different depending on where you are in the country. But we have to get creative about you know what we do. So you switch to maybe chicken backs. And those of you like myself that only like white meat or what have you, go ahead and chop that stuff up, break it down, put it in some rice. Get creative with your meals. You know what I'm saying? Think about things that stretch out. Chop up some celeries in that bad boy, put some seasoning in there, and then just cook it down. And then have those multiple meals. Learn how to stretch things out. And then if you're used to the go-to meats, transition to something else. You know what I'm saying? There's so many spaghetti without meat some nights. You're gonna have to get creative about what you're doing and have fun doing it and incorporate the kids. What we used to do, incorporate the kids with preparing the meal. Get the kids to try different things. And we'll have, like, say we need to do food prep for the week. We looking at spaghetti. Who can make the best spaghetti sauce between all the kids? And we have the different kids making different spaghetti sauce, and then we'll have a judge on the different spaghetti sauce. But then we'll all get everybody to buy in, and they didn't even know we were broke. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even know we were like stretching this stuff out. They feel like they
Yeah.
eating good. They proud of what they eat because they know they made it and they got that buy-in. You just have to get creative because all we know is what people tell us. Like
Yeah.
imagine this. God forbid. I'm not saying this for nobody, but I use myself. I'm gonna give you a class now. What if I went to the doctor and the doctor gave me a misdiagnosis and they told me that I only had so much time to live, right? My mind would automatically start being depressed. I would automatically be just down and worried and trying to prepare, trying to do everything I could for the time I got and trying to find a way that I could heal myself, right? That's
Mhm.
automatic, right? I'm quite sure a lot of you all would probably find the same thing. But imagine if that can affect our minds so greatly. Imagine if you speak positive things. Imagine
Mhm.
if you start acting in a positive manner. Imagine if you gave your kids nothing but positivity and nothing but empowerment for as their mind, the words that you speak. You didn't yell so much. You start
Mhm.
working things out. Just imagine that now you speaking positivity. Now what's the opposite of that? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So during these times, I, I would encourage you all to what we used to do, Gigi, pretend like we going to the beach. We'll go ahead and get
Mhm.
everything out. We get everything out. We'll get a little cheap little pool, put it in the backyard. Something we can't do nothing but put our feet in. We might go and buy a bag of sand, or we go to a place. Back then we had a place not too far from us where it was the dunes. We'll get some sand, put it in the backyard, play some music. We'll get in our bathing suits, and we'll get the kids all in the bathing suit, and they didn't know we went to the beach. You know what I'm saying? You got to get creative. They'll know later on. Like, we thought we was at the beach. We thought we went here. We thought we went there. But it's just you got to get creative. Don't let these times get you down. Don't just keep thinking about money, 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 money. Because I'm telling you, that is something that need us. And yeah, do we need money? Yeah, you need money in this society. You need money, but don't let it overtake you to the part where you lose your creativity, you lose your motivation, you lose your drive, and then you also start to have a deterioration on your relationship with your mate, with your family, with your kids, and with the people around you. Because during these times are the times for you to shine. Because in the midst of down times, that's when people look for leaders and that's when people look for heroes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can y'all hear me? I had to put in my mic because I have to go get in the car. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, great, great, great.
But you ran out of
Um,
gas?
no, she said the battery is dead. So
The battery's dead?
yeah. I don't know if it is or not, but for some reason it won't start. So I'm gonna go and see if I can help her out.
All you
But
gotta do is
I
do it multiple times.
do it.
She just need to try more than once.
Oh, okay. But I absolutely agree with you that you have to get creative. That is what we had to do having young kids. We had to get creative.
I'm
And
sorry,
one of the things
Gigi, I'm sorry to interrupt. But worst come to worst, pull the string. See, that's the modern day convenience. These iPhone kids, pull the string. Okay, the auto start don't start. Oh, come the world come to an end. Everything's dead. Everything's no longer going. No. What about manually starting, pulling the string? You know what I'm saying? Don't remember there's other alternatives.
there's
I'm sorry,
always
Gigi.
an alternative. There's always
Always.
an alternative. But the thing about it is that the young people today did not grow up the way that we did.
Correct.
And so they don't know about the different ways that we had to hustle. They don't know about having to really, really survive because it's something that they've never really had to do. We have sheltered our children so greatly that our children don't even know about boiled chicken and rice. They don't know about mayo sandwiches and tomato sandwiches. Maybe the children who actually grew up um, with gardeners know about the tomato sandwiches and all of those basics. But
Hmm.
for the most part, children today, they done had an iPhone since they were like 8 and 9 years old. So they really don't know about real survival. They don't know about the real struggles that we had to deal with growing up. They don't know about the same type of stuff. And so they're not going to be so quick and savvy to some of the things that we had to do. Um,
Hey, you know something, Gigi? You made me think about something. Um, Something that have y'all ever thought about this? Since we have the internet, let's use it for our advantage. You know, say we're going through some lean times, some tough times, right? Why not go on YouTube or somewhere and visit where people, I don't like this term, third world countries. Let's go to some of those places and let's find out some of their meals and let's find out what they eat and then let's mimic it and let's try a new meal for our home because if they're surviving in those places, it's typically going to be something fairly affordable for us. So it just being creative and finding different things in different ways, you know.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Um, I am just so I still, with all of that being said, I still feel so bad for the youngers because the youngers just they don't know what they don't know. And we have done, I think, especially, I know it started with the boomers, but especially like Gen X, we have done them a disservice with not allowing them to go through some things. And I know a lot of my friends who I grew up with, when we were going to try to find the best $30 dress that we could find for prom, they were spending hundreds on their children's dresses for proms
Yeah.
and on their tuxedo. They were getting real tuxedos and all of that type of stuff. When we looked nice, we still looked nice, but we were going to go to the stores that were very affordable in order to get our stuff. But they really have not had to want for anything. And with that, and I blame that on us as the adults. I
Yeah.
blame that on the people who don't think that their kids can wear anything other than Ralph Lauren or other than all of these other big brands. They can't have nothing on their feet except for some J's. Like I blame it on us because we did that. We did that to these kids. And now we want them to be able to go out into the world and just make it, just sink or swim. We that's what we expect from them. And I'm just like, you can't be expecting for these kids to go through all of this stuff, with all of this inflation, we did not have this type of inflation. We just didn't have it. Yeah, stuff went up some, and we thought that when our when our gas went up from 79 cents to 99 cents and to $1.25, man, we were mad. We thought that like the greatest disservice had been done to us. We were mad because of that. And at that price, it still took us $10 to fill up our gas tank.
And the sad
And we
part
could
about
pump
what
it
you're
up
saying,
$10.
the sad part about what you're saying is that most of our salaries weren't that much different between now and then.
I
You know,
know.
you know, so yeah, I know the minimum wage has gone up in a lot of places, but it's a lot of places where they have not matched the minimum wage with what it costs to live there. You know,
Yeah,
I still see $10 per hour in some places that should not be nowhere near $10. The minimum wage probably should be
absolutely.
20 or $30. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I told you a lot of times I can remember where if you worked a full time job, you can pretty much pay for your bills. You might
Yes.
not have this nice house in a nice area, but you could have a home. It was clean. It was decent. If you worked at a grocery store, you work at a restaurant, you work at a department store, it's people retired. I know people who retired who had nice stuff, and they retired out of the department store,
Yes.
as a sales associate, but because they
Yes.
work full time. Now we got jobs where it really takes more than just a full time job. It takes sometimes two and three jobs. Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
hearing more and more people working like 80 hours in one week. I got one of my coworkers who shared with me. I didn't know it. I knew there was some things going on, but I really didn't know. But they broke down and told me, I've been working two full-time jobs trying to take care of me and the fam. And I was like, wow, you working two? Because I know they just got a promotion and everything, but it still wasn't enough.
Right.
And and they are trying. I mean, I see them. They are living very like responsible. They ain't out there balling or nothing like that. They living in a responsible lifestyle. But in
Yeah.
order for them to truly keep up with the pace and it allow them to save and try to meet their goals, they working two full-time jobs.
Yeah. I mean, and literally, if you're trying to have decent food, imagine the people who are not growing, right? Those people who aren't really gardening to offset some of their food costs. Just imagine that they're out here now having to buy two tomatoes for $5.
Yeah,
And I'm not even talking about just the big, well, the more expensive grocery stores. I'm not even talking about the Whole Foods. I'm not talking about Publix. I'm talking about Walmart. And you get to the point where you're just like, man, I'm gonna go to Walmart and try to find something as cheap as humanly possible. I'm talking about those stores, not even the more expensive stores. So it's just getting to the point where, you know, with everything else going up, with the rent going up, like if you're still paying people $15 an hour, they really can't afford. In most cities, they cannot afford to pay rent, what these rents are, then buy food at the same time.
so now we talked about that and we all know what we're going through. What's some suggestions that you would probably give to some of our youth and some of our people who are just trying to, you know, survive and do the right thing? What kind of, most of us, we all know what we're going through. What's some of our solutions that you would probably advise?
Well, one of the first things and the main thing is to try your very, very best to control the amount that you're paying where you live. So that might mean that you're not going to be able to go to live at a luxury condo. You're not going to be able to afford to live at decent apartments in a lot of cases. But you have to control the amount of money that you're paying out. I had one young lady just report back to me last week and tell me that they found a mobile home, and now instead of paying $13 per month, they're going to be
1,300.
paying, instead of 13 per month in the apartment that wasn't even that great, they're now going to be paying $750 per month to go and live in a mobile home where it looks like they're going to have a whole lot more peace than having to deal with their apartment. They going in there, they're painting, they're making the thing their own. They're making it look nice and comfortable and homey while they're in there.
Yeah.
And it's so much cheaper than trying to stay in an apartment that's just great. You know what I mean?
And and then
So,
some people be like, oh, you living in a mobile home, and what about the storms, and what about this, and what about that? If you've been paying $1,300 a month, and you go down to $750 a month, thank you for starting to put some stuff in the chat. Because I'm like, I don't know why we on StreamYard if we can't see, because I can't see the chat, so I appreciate that. I can't see your beautiful face either. I don't know what's going on, but I hope you're good. But
I'm driving.
imagine
I'm
this.
driving.
Oh, you drive. Oh, okay. So imagine here it is where you are paying $1,300 a month, and then now you bump down your rent down to 750. Now, this is the time to take advantage of that. If a storm come up, what can you do? You can afford a hotel room, right? If a storm come up, you can afford gas to go travel and have a day trip to a place to save. Now with you doing that 1,300 down to 750. Now's the time for you to now look for some ways you can do some cost savings, some ways you can pay some stuff off, some ways you can get your month to month down. Once you get that open room, we shouldn't fill it up with something else. We shouldn't take it to the part where, okay, hey, I got an extra $200. Now you might need to look at your tires on your car. You might need to go ahead and get your oil changed. You've been hearing that squeaky belt, or you've been hearing that noise. You might want to take advantage and now try to get some things fixed so you can prepare yourself. Because I'm telling you, when you are broke, when things or you are tight on money, things tear up. Things will tear up, and when they tear up, guess what's going to happen? That's going to put you back. That's going to set you back. So
They do every time.
whenever you get a setup, step up. Every time you get a setup, step up, because you don't want to get a setup and then you compensate and fill that void. Now I got X250. I can get that upgrade on that phone, or I can finally get this, or I'm starting my business. Another thing, broke folks starting business. I ain't gonna comment on that. I would comment on that, but I'm not gonna comment on that.
I mean, you
Because
can though, because
a
it
lot of
because
these,
to
a
be
lot of these, a lot of these quote millionaire YouTubers and a lot of these social media people, they in front of car lot. They rent these type of hotel rooms. They live in a facade. And I'm telling you, if you look at the numbers, you don't have to believe nothing I say, but you look at the numbers, because one thing the USA does, it tracks its dollars. And if you look at the
absolutely.
amount of people that's making well over $100,000 a year, I ain't talking about no household. I'm talking about individuals. It don't
Mhm.
add up. How many social media people we see out here who balling, and you look at
Right,
the numbers, somebody lying.
right.
And one thing about the government, I know about the government. They're gonna keep up with the money. They're gonna know where the money. So something tells me something is very imbalanced. And if you break it down to the age groups and races, you definitely see it's some people out here lying, and it has nothing to do with no color, creed, or whatever. But I'm saying,
There's a
listen
lot of
to
people out here lying. A
yeah,
lot
they
of people out
lying.
here lying because ain't no way if there is only if the average income for certain ethnicity is 43,000 dollars per year,
Hmm.
and then everybody is out here in Maseratis and in Bentleys and in whatever else those other things are, Lamborghinis and stuff. And they're taking all of these pictures and putting all of these pictures on social media. One thing that I realized is that when I saw these pictures of Jay-Z floating around. And when Jay-Z was a hundredaire, he was wearing all the big, chunky jewelry that most of it probably wasn't even real gold. You probably had like the top layer that was gold and then the rest of it was something else. But now, look at him now. Look at how he carries himself now. People who have money don't want everybody to know that they have money.
And then
They
and
don't
then
they don't
another,
go.
I'm sorry. Another thing too. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Well, let's keep it real. I'm gonna give you a classic example. Just like a rapper, we got social media people that are very, very well good. Um, I mean, they can get a following. They can get a lot of people. What's up, David? What's going on? They can get a lot of people to follow them, and people says they have influence. So even small YouTube channels or this and that, you have companies giving you or lending you or letting you lease or rent certain things, and they're giving you access to certain things. Don't get it twisted. They're giving you access to it, but that don't mean you own it. I'm gonna give you a classic example. It's a guy that I know. And I'm telling you, he was my homeboy, right? Everybody respected him that knew him. Everybody knew him. He was very flamboyant. But when you broke it down, he would do a gig and make $65,000 in one hit, one gig, right? And that he would take that money and he'll put $20,000 on a Benz, right? And that left him with a $20,000 car note. Then he'll turn around and he will not lease, but he would rent a car for a month. So imagine you driving at the time a brand new Ford Expedition, and you paying anywhere from $1,200 to $1,300 a month for this Ford Expedition. Now it may not seem that wild and crazy, but back then he was paying $8 and $1,000 a month, but he looked good. And then he'll switch it out. He'll switch it out maybe a couple of months. But what he was doing, he was spending so much money trying to look good and impress and show that he was so solid. But then you go back to his shack, his duplex shack, where he actually lived, but you never went to where he went. He didn't really have much. But he put all of his resources out there in the streets. And it looked good. His clothes was tight. I mean, he had everything tight, right? He get a haircut sometimes twice a week, shaped up, taped up, but everything was for outward. And I'm telling you, don't get caught up into these people that are giving you this portrayal like life and everything is good. I mean, if that's the lifestyle you want to live, ain't nothing wrong with that. But some people are truly believing that they are not accomplishing or not where they should be based on what they seen around them, based on social media influences. I mean, it's people every time you click on, every time you look at, everybody doing good. Ain't nobody hurt. Ain't nobody struggling. Everybody just over the top. They just balling. They're going to teach you 15, 20 ways to get paid. And you're going to get over 100,000 people giving them $10 a piece, right? And they're going to sell you and buy you on that. But the sad part about that is, what does that do for you? And my thing is, I want to share some suggestions. And going forward, I want to do a little bit more of that. There's things you could do. If you own a home, cut that hot water heater if it's on electricity. Y'all sitting there all day, you ain't taking no bath, take baths at a certain time, cut that hot water off. You know, you can't afford that tankless system. Cut it off. Light the pilot when y'all get ready to take a bath. Don't take 2 and 3 baths. Don't everybody take a bath all day. You know, it's simple things. If something leaking, fix it. That means on the car. That means at the house. You know, you see that little rafter, that little thing, go to a YouTube university if you can figure that thing out and do it yourself. Change out your filters on your AC. Make stuff stretch, y'all. Do the proper maintenance. Do the proper care. You know, get your air tank. An air tank is good. Get you some tools. Get your little toolbox. Y'all single moms, get your toolbox. All single moms, if you own a home, And if you own a car or if you rent a home, and I wouldn't touch nothing. Everybody would fix everything if I'm renting a home, renting a place. But you got some places where here I'm hearing they straight abusing renters. I'm hearing they making them do their own pest control. They making them cut their own grass. They making them do any type of pressure washing, cleaning. This is getting bad. But they literally paying the top of the notch price for these renting of the homes. And this
Mhm.
stuff, people know your rights. Renters in most states, the rent, the leaseor or the owner of the property, there's certain requirements they need to maintain, and you need to hold them accountable. Do not be paying out of your pocket. Learn what you need to know about your renter's rights. I mean, let's put down the if we're gonna use our iPhone, let's pick it up for learning about stuff. And some of us won't be entrepreneurs, some of us won't be millionaires, but we still should work toward that. And if we just be patient and get more knowledgeable about what we can do and what we can't do, your creativity will kick in. And next thing you know, you might say, "Man, I found 20 things that reduce $200 out of my monthly expenses." You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a video on it. You want to know why I want to do it? Because I'm going to help somebody. And it's amazing what happens when you help each other, and we got to help each other. And let's use this social media for a reason. And when people put out good content to help you, when people put out good stuff, let's stop not sharing that stuff. And I'm going to send something to the content creators. Content creators, I don't get mad if you take something that I said and build your own show and put your own spin on it. I don't get mad at all. My whole purpose in saying what I say on YouTube and Gigi, what we say on YouTube is to influence, inspire, and I want it to radiate throughout the world. The reason why we want to radiate throughout the world, because we want to help somebody. We want to help somebody. We want to give back to this world because this world has given us a lot. We've been responsible. And how do we share to as many people as we can on how to make it through this life is that we share the knowledge. Stop being stingy with the knowledge. You learn something, don't cover it up, tuck it away. Let's go ahead and share it. Hit the share button. Not to make me get more money off of YouTube because I'm learning that ain't it. That ain't it. You know what I'm
Child,
saying?
if you're waiting on
I,
YouTube
I look at
for
I look
money,
at what I'm making. I'm looking at what I make on YouTube and the amount of time and the energy that I put in this thing. Man, I'm living well below prevailing wages, well below. So I ain't given up on that little bit. I ain't even studying that little bit. So my focus is let's see it seriously. Let's try to help each other. You know, we learn a little tricks of the trade. We learn a little things that can get us by. You know, instead of buying a can of beans and what them little sausage and beans, make your own. Chop it up
yeah.
and put some beans and make your sauce. Make it stretch. Let's stop.
You know
Let's stop.
somebody who you know somebody who really showed me how to stretch things?
Hmm.
Auntie Bev Jones.
Yeah,
That is the queen of stretching things.
she's been doing that for so many years. Oh my good, Auntie
It's so
Bev.
many years. But
Yeah,
recently she was saying to me, you don't have to use an entire pack of chicken
yeah.
to make a meal for the whole family, to make a meal for four people. You don't have to use the entire pack. And she showed me
What's up? What's up?
how she goes about stretching her budget and stretching her food. And I was just amazed at how much food she actually came out with. This is why I talk to everybody. I talk to people from everywhere because you can learn something from somebody from everywhere, from literally everywhere, every walk of life. You can learn something from people that will actually help you to be able to live to fight another day. So it's the simple things that we don't think about, and that a lot of the young people, they don't even know, they don't even understand how to do a lot of this stuff because they were always given one or two chicken breasts at a time. They
Yeah.
were always given a leg and two wings at a time. So it's up to us to do these type of live streams and put out the information, like we have been doing for the last 3 years. It's up to us to put that information out there and try to help to correct some of what we've done. Help to correct some of the, okay, I didn't teach you. I was watching this young person and they said, um, I'm so mad with my mom and dad
Hmm.
because they didn't tell me that life was like this. They didn't tell me that adulthood was like this for real. All they ever did was give, give, give. Every time I asked for something, every time I wanted something, I didn't have to work for nothing. And now they just threw me out here into this world and I can't even afford rent.
Mm.
It's up to us. It's up to us to now we got to help them out. Even if it's just with information, we have to help them out because these people, these young people, they really don't know. Now, one thing about us was that we purposefully didn't give our kids everything. We did that on purpose because we wanted to make sure that these were going to be good people, not just going in. I can distinctly remember my oldest child. This is when Aeropostale was the thing. Aeropostale was it back then. When our oldest child was growing up, she was probably 9, 10, something like that. And she wanted to go to the mall to the Aeropostale store. And so I was like, yeah, we could go at Aeropostale because I didn't know how expensive Aeropostale was because I didn't do all that. I didn't take them to places like that. We went to buy things that looked nice that we can get for what I considered was a reasonable price times three. Okay.
Hey, 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 in the chat. There's a lot going on in the chat, Gigi. I know you
Okay.
ride. I know you ride now. But it's a lot of comments, about putting family first. It's about Nikki, what's up? I see you in the chat. And Maria, how you doing? But it's some other things in conversation. I think it was French Wee Wee. What's up, French Wee Wee? Uh, she said fasting. Um,
Ooh.
intermediate
Ooh.
intermediate fasting. Look. Let me share something with you all. Um, to the parents, sometimes you gotta sacrifice, right? We ain't talking about no fast, no kids or nothing like that. But do y'all know how fasting used to get me by and help me to have enough money to? Because I always seem to commute or be on the road, right? By me not eating breakfast and waiting to lunch to eat, by me at lunchtime not eating at dinner and waking up and do breakfast or something. Or even, some of us, we can go multiple days. Some of us, we feel like we can't fast. Most of the people who say I can't fast, those are people who ain't probably never fasted. And
Mhm.
and they talking about their health condition, but they'll be amazed on what probably happens to their health after they did fast. But
Oh yeah.
let me share something to you about an empty stomach. When your stomach is empty and you got water, you hydrated because you got to feed that brain, right? You got to feed your fuel system. When your stomach is empty, you will be amazed how much creativity and brain power you have. You'll be amazed on there's a higher power other than yourself, and the conversations start to resonate in your life in ways you never believed before. You will go through a process of enlightenment. And I encourage you, you can just start out with just missing one meal, right? Replace it with water. Drink a lot of water if you do decide to fast. But the thing is, that could be a cheat code for you. Imagine one week, 5 days. Normally, breakfast is, just say for me, I used to eat breakfast when I worked. The days I was off, I really didn't eat breakfast, right? So imagine, and now these days we talking about $10 on the average. $10, um, that's $50. $50. Time 4, that's $200. You just saved $200 in your budget, right? And you might have done yourself a health benefit and a spiritual benefit. It's a win-win all at once. And we're not talking about no big sacrifice. So what if you ate lunch at 11 o'clock? It gave you that time. You know what I'm saying? You ate dinner, and then you woke up, you drunk some water, and then you drunk some water, and then you got there. And I'm not saying you have to do it every day, but I'm just saying that $30, that $20, that whatever you
Mhm.
save, now you take that $20, right? I got $20. And now you take that $20 and then you take that $20 to maybe buy something that you normally would buy in bulk that will
Mhm.
reduce your price as a unit per use. So you can get creative way, or you may take that $20 and you drop it into an ETF, or you drop it into a dividend stock, or you
Mhm.
might drop it into a piece of equipment that can save you month to month. You know what I'm saying? You got $200 at the end of the month, you might be able to buy a Jackery. And then
Mhm.
now you might be able to sleep when the weather gets cooler, charge that Jackery and run your fans off that Jackery. And then now, guess what you can do? You saving some money on the electric side. So it's different ways if you use your creativity, you use your wit, which we have, you'll find ways that you can slowly inch. And then next thing you know, man, I didn't realize I had an extra $500. I got an
Mhm.
extra $500 every month just for me being conscious and being intentional about what I'm doing,
Yeah.
by me taking these extra steps. And then you'll build a routine. And then guess what? It doesn't mean you have to be here for the rest of your life, but it's enough to get you over a hump. And then once you
Yeah.
get over a hump and you got some daylight, you can shake some of that stuff off and you can move forward. So think about
And
it.
you didn't want to earlier. You didn't want to talk about, when you said you started to say something about poor people starting businesses, and you didn't continue. But I agree. I agree. That's who needs to start the businesses. Those are the people that need to make sure that they're starting businesses. And okay, you ask. I know the next question is gonna be, what kind of business can you start? So the first thing that comes to mind that is very inexpensive, start a
Wait a minute,
cleaning business.
wait a minute. I don't want to cut off some people. So let's talk about poor people. Let's talk about people who
Well,
can't. Wait a minute. I'm talking about this is all in one. Trust me, hold your thought. But I
yeah,
want not only poor people to hear this, I want people who just getting out of incarceration. I'm big proponent of helping our people who've been incarcerated,
yeah,
who have been young, who didn't make the right decisions, and they got caught. Versus us, we didn't get caught, right?
yeah,
So they have felonies, they got other stuff like that. Now, not only them, but some people who have been in foster care, they really
yeah,
didn't do good in school. Some of the people who really didn't do well and they working these dead end jobs.
yeah.
Now, all of those, please listen. Go ahead, Gigi.
Yeah, and so do things like start a cleaning business. If you can get into, we this is the age of internet, right? And so right now we have the world at our fingertips. If we hashtag Tallahassee, then all of the people that are searching for things in Tallahassee, then guess what? You're going to be one of the people that come up. So do your marketing, do your online marketing, do whatever you have to do in order to get in front of those people, get in front of the people who are in your area who are going to need what you're offering. That was one of the things that I did to make extra money when we were raising 3 kids. I had a baby, I was nursing at the time, and my baby was cutting up while I was cleaning that house. And I
Mm-hmm.
would have to stop and nurse the baby and do whatever she needed, do her diaper changes, et cetera, et cetera. And that was one of the ways that I made money, made extra money when times were tight and we needed something to do. And you can go and literally get $10 worth of, well, 20 now. If you get $20 worth of cleaning supplies, then get you a customer, you do a good job, and guess what? That person is going to refer you out to somebody else, and that's how the cleaning world works. So that's one of those things. I know a person personally who turned that business into a six-figure business, just cleaning
Hmm.
people's houses. And then once you get to that point, if you start putting yourself out there to the state or the county, saying that, hey, I want to get these contracts. I want to do some of these contracts. I want to try to get into some of these places where I can get some contracts, so I'm having consistent work. So you have to start somewhere, but you
Yeah,
have to get creative. Whatever it is that is your, a lot of young people want passion. You know, they want to work in something that makes them feel good. But work in what pays you first
yeah. What
until you can do what makes you feel good.
something to kind of add to that. I believe that your purpose, you only know your purpose, and you know what your purpose is. And if you're socially aware and you socially conscious and you want to socially help somebody, you can easily do that same. I'm gonna give you a class example. I don't want you to talk yourself out of nothing, right? Look,
Mhm.
you can be social aware and helping people while cleaning the house. Give you a class example. I mean, y'all gotta understand. In my in my in my what pays the bills every day, what I do is I help business owners. Every day, what I do, I cultivate business. I help people grow their business. So this is something I do. And every time when we talk about business, that's why I try to stay away from that, because I will go on a tangent. But if I wanted social help, I want to help others. Class example, start your cleaning business. Then as you develop and grow your cleaning business, start a green cleaning business. Now you can be environmental friendly. Now you want to help people. Start hiring people that has felonies. Start hiring people that are having disabilities. Start hiring people who have some challenges in their life. Some people that have been abused. Some people that's living away from spousal abuse. Start hiring those people. You're still doing the cleaning business so you can take care of business. You still having that social aspect, but you got to think outside the box. You got to be creative. Don't ignore what you're there for, because in the meantime, while you have your business meetings with your cleaning service, while you have your meetings with your employees, those can be times where you can help and you can go beyond and do a social piece on helping them to get back on track. Because once you get involved in people's lives, you're going to find a way to help people. But you can't
Mhm.
help people if you need help yourself. You can't bring people up if you're struggling yourself.
Come on now.
It's too much stuff. You can't buy someone a car seat so they can go to a job interview because they baby don't have a car seat. You can't help somebody with Pampers if you ain't got enough money to feed your own self. So you got to be
Yeah.
realistic. You got to start getting on your feet first, and you got to be creative. You got to think outside the box. And guess what? While you doing this social piece, you might find a grant sitting out there for people with disabilities to help your
Yeah.
business, where they'll provide free training, they'll provide free onboarding, they'll also provide some tax relief. It's so many different creative things, but you got to go inside your purpose and you got to step outside there. If you want to
Come
start, I
on
don't
now.
care if you can go to the dollar store and get a bucket, get some Dawn, and get maybe some brushes and some rags from out your house. Tear up some clothes. We ain't talking about no spending no money. Tear up your clothes. Get your child bicycle, ride down the road, and you might just want to pass out some flyers if you can in your
Mhm.
neighborhood. I don't care if you're in a top scale neighborhood. Whatever neighborhood I was in, they knew I cut grass. They knew I washed cars. And guess what? If I'm washing a Mercedes Benz, I can charge a whole lot more than washing a Hyundai, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so what you do is get past your comfort zone. If you don't want to go out there, I got a full-time job, I really don't want to work for nobody, I really don't want to do this, pull out that pressure washer out of your garage and start pressure washing some sidewalks and driveways. I mean, get creative, y'all. It don't take a lot to go ahead and find some extra resources. You got a chainsaw out there. Don't go trying to cut down no big tree, but just clean up some limbs and do some stuff. Use your talents, use your skills to allow you to be creative and come up with some creative ways. And then once you get that mix and get from under that pressure of just making it and get past, okay, now we got a little breathing room. Now be strategic and have it working for you where you don't have to constantly be there every single day. Every single day while you're sleeping, you should be thinking about ways you can invest and make money in so
Yeah.
many ways. And then now you can truly do what you want to do for us helping people. This is what
Yeah.
it's all about, right? Because
Yeah.
we all struggling in some form or fashion at certain times, and some of us we're not. But the key is it's only temporarily. It does not mean you're going to be stuck here forever. And it's up to
Yeah.
you. It's up to you.
That part. I know you can't see me, but
Okay.
I just jumped somebody off. I just found a
You,
new
you jump
calling.
you jump somebody off while
I
you on
jumped
live.
while I'm on live stream. I just
Uh,
jumped somebody off. So
okay. You around stuff and everything, right? You ain't putting yourself in no harm, is
no, this
you? Okay.
person was my person. This was my little person. I had to jump her off.
Oh. Oh, okay. 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 Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
there's so many things. And, what you were saying, it just brought me to there are so many things that you can do. There are so many things that you don't even understand what you can do until you do it. I remember I messed up our bins that time
Yeah,
trying to jump it off
yeah,
and mess around and crossed up the things because it was dark outside.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you go through some hard stuff. You go
You
through
thought,
some things that are like that was a change. That was a huge change for us. Um and I felt so bad. I still feel bad about this to this day because I'm like, I messed
wait a
up
minute,
a whole
wait a
bins
minute.
just because I crossed the wires up.
Look, look, look. You know I'm getting old when I see Exandria.
Hey,
Hey,
Benjamin.
Exandria.
How you
That's a
doing, baby?
wait a minute. Put Exandria back up on there. Let me look at her one more time. Look at her.
Ain't
I
she
see. I
ain't
see
she
it.
beautiful? Ain't she
I see
beautiful?
it. I see it. Woo, woo. Yeah, man. She's gorgeous. Beautiful.
But you can do so many things. And there are people, we see people all the time on the side of the road who need help. Now
Hey,
you
hey,
think if you
hey, hey, hey. Can I say something about Rose, Exandria, or not?
okay. Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
No,
ahead.
I'm not. I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say something.
Okay.
Yeah, she.
You sure?
Yeah, I know her. I know her. I know her personally. Yeah,
Let's say you know her. Let's say you know her.
I know her. I definitely know her.
But
Good,
it,
good
it
to see her.
makes a world of difference. Can you imagine, somebody being on the side of the road and they just need a jump off. They just need you to help them.
Yeah.
You think that they won't give you $10, $20 to jump them off so that they can go on about their way?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many ways to make money. We just have to be creative. We have to think outside of the box. And especially, when you're young and you're just out here and you feel like you just got thrown out here in the world.
Yeah.
Woo, gotta do it.
And
Gotta do it.
and Grand Acres. There you go. Putting Exandria back on there. What was Grand? One of the Grand Acres.
Grand Acres, yes. Hi, Grand Acres.
She said, them gizzards and all that kind of stuff. Like for instance, if you're not a gizzard eater or nothing like that, man, cook that stuff down with some rice, man. Cook that stuff down and put it on some rice. Um, like I
Or
said,
or or just we think that we have to eat meat all the time. We don't. Don't eat
correct,
meat all the time.
correct.
That saves a
If
whole bunch of
even if
money.
even if you didn't fast, even if you just say 1 day out of the week, no meat, or even one meal out of the day, no meat, you'll see some stuff go down. You'll see prices go down in your spinach.
Yeah, and this is the thing that gets me is that nobody wants to talk about eating less. Don't nobody want to talk about that because we're like Well, if we don't eat as much, and this is going back to the fasting, that's another
Yeah.
way that you can fast. Is literally just stop eating so doggone much. Stop eating so many times per day.
Yeah.
Our thing is now is that we eat at lunchtime, and Eco Neighbor is a little hungry, little joker. So if he wants to eat again in the evening time, then he'll jump on the grill. But for the most part, we just go out at lunchtime, and that is what we eat. And so for the rest of the day, we have learned how to fast. Matter of fact, since he is gone, I am going back to water fasting. Like I'm started now. Like today was like day one of water fasting for me because I'm like, okay, if he's not around, then there's just less temptations. Let's just say that. There's less stuff to tempt me when Eco Neighbor is not around. I know you looking like that, but I'm telling the truth.
No, I just don't
But
mind feeding you meat. So I'm sorry.
I know you want to feed me all of the stuff that I don't need, but and I
No, that's not
appreciate
it.
you,
That's
and I
not it.
appreciate you.
That's not it. That's not it.
I really
I-
appreciate you, but it's time now that we have to prepare ourselves for the stuff that is coming. Because would you rather be ready to be in fasting mode than forced in it?
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
rather be ready. I would rather actually know how to do it. I would actually rather know how it feels. And then if it ever got to a point where we just had nothing, where we didn't have any food at all, I would be okay because I know how to fast.
Now,
I make it a regular part of the week.
Regenerative, in his prior comment, he mentioned about picking up a trade, and yeah, I would recommend anyone that's young, if you're pursuing your degree or what have you, also pick you up a trade. Pick you up a trade because one thing about a trade, it cannot be removed from you. Um, you having that knowledge of doing that trade, you in your youth may not even find a career in it, but you will be amazed on how you will use that trade throughout your life. I'm telling you, it's definitely worth it. And when you got a trade and certain types of trade, you're gonna always be valuable. Um, I cook better when my stomach is empty, and okay. That was fast. I couldn't get to it. Even today, I'm learning as I go. My parents may not have told me much, but I grew up watching them and everyone else. Can't be afraid to get out and get your hands dirty. That's right, Toya.
Amen,
That's
Toya.
absolutely
Amen.
right. But they were teaching you, even though they didn't like sit you down and say, look at this lesson. But by them doing that, I'm telling you,
Because
sometimes
our
as
children don't
parents,
listen to what we say, they watch what we do.
yeah, as parents, you be sitting down and you be trying to teach them everything you think they need. And some of the most lessons that they learn are things they saw that we did. You know, I haven't.
Absolutely.
Oh, you got a new member.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Welcome, y'all's girl. Welcome, y'all's girl.
Welcome,
Hey,
y'all.
Nikki. How you doing, Nikki? I've been
Yeah,
driving, so I ain't been able to see everybody in the chat.
yeah, that's cool.
French wee
You
wee. Here
should,
go French wee wee.
you should be where you need to be at. If you still driving, you
Yeah.
know,
I'm sitting in the parking lot right now. She's gone. She got her car started and she's
oh,
gone.
you came to the rescue. You rescuing
Yeah,
people.
I came to the rescue. That's why I had to leave
Oh,
the
I
RV.
got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
who called me earlier.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you had ran out of gas.
oh no. She listen. She got that. I don't know if she left the car switched on or what happened, but I didn't even ask. I just came and got her on her way. So
What's going on with French Wee Wee? What's she saying?
read the comment.
So you guys tell me what you think about this digital dollar that's going to put everyone on the same level here. Very concerned about this move, which will be these beats. next moves.
So,
uh, my thing is, I have a lot, and I talked about some of it leading up to this. Um, I will say this: after 50 years on this earth, I have heard the television mark of the beast. I've heard the internet mark of the beast. I've heard Y2K mark of the beast. I heard the chip mark of the beast. I heard some storms mark of the beast. I heard the ending of time. I think it was supposed to be in 20. I forgot what year. The Aztec. I forgot what year. I heard so many mark of the beast, the end of time, that um I'm not sure which one, but I think if we call everything the end of time, I think we'll be right eventually. But when it comes to that dollar, all this is to me, this transition is no different between a credit card, no difference between because the moment that you no longer let me share this real quick. When I first started working, helping my grandmother out at the store, they had a country store where they sold fish and eggs. I said all of this back in the days. But when I used to take eggs and groceries out to people's cars, I used to get paid. At
hmm
the end of the day, my grandmama would pay me through her check for helping out. I used to
hmm
get paid every day that I worked.
hmm
Fast forward, people, I got a job. Then they used to pay me. The first job I had used to pay me weekly on a Tuesday.
hmm
Then I got another job, moved up in my career, and then I got paid every 2 weeks. Then I got
hmm
another job, moved up in my career, and they paid me monthly. Then I went down in my career, and then I got paid every 2 weeks. What I'm saying all of this is it's funny that a lot of times we try to reach the top, we try to grab this and we try to grab that. But I ain't been controlling my money since that day when I stopped getting paid every day.
Okay,
Every
that part.
single time that I'm gonna throw one more thing at you. I used to get a paper check, used to get handed out at break time at 10 o'clock every payday. They used to give us an envelope with our name on it. Boss sent out the manager would send out an envelope, and even though we had 15-minute break, we would go and run down to the bank, take that check, and get cash. And then we paid our bills with checks. I mean, with cash, right? Eventually, we no longer got that. We got what we call a debit card. And then that money went down directly to the debit card. Then if we want to get cash out, we can get cash out. Um, every time that we have a form of independence and creativity with making our own money and doing it, typically either they're deleted, the people, owners of the corporations or entities, they delete it or they shut down the operation. I feel like for quite some time, we've never really been in control of our money. If I need my money out of my retirement, they're getting taken out of my check. If I need some of my social security money, I cannot do it without certain limitations. Who are you to limit me on me working and putting my money? I feel like I would have to take a 40% reduction if I took out my retirement money pre age of 59 and a half, right? So are we really in charge of our money? Now, will they have
hmm
more control? Will they be able to monitor? Will they be able to shut some stuff down when they need to shut it? You better believe it. But I also notice between every situation that they come up with a fix all situation, there's always, boom, some alternatives. Hence
hmm
cash out, hence PayPal, hence um it's a lot of different things that we had over the years, the checks, um, investing into these creative things, right? So they're going to always be that standard. Is it a mess? But what can you do to stop that train? If you're watching these wars between a certain country and another country that we trying to figure out why we got something to do with them, a lot of this, and do you see the combining of financial resources with other countries? They're kicking against they're kicking against the pricks. it's really not against us, but this is a worldwide unified money system. And no longer are we going to have all these dividing pieces. It's going to be one control currency, one control piece, right? So now some of these countries and some of these people are not even going to have be able to have control of their resources. That's why we're getting all this tension and all this breaking up and unification, and they trying to slow this thing down too. Because trust me, some of these countries are definitely not on board, and the media put it out there. Were they against America? Were they against Britain? No, they are scrambling and trying to have some kind of control of being free and having their own resources, having their own peace, and not be a part of this system. Now, with that said, if we are part of this system, we still have something that we can be very creative with. Guess what we can be creative with? What did you do? There's a town in Florida, and this is what makes me think about it. It's a little community in Florida. It's called Two Eggs. Two Eggs, Florida was named because people were so poor that they didn't have cash, but they had chickens and they laid eggs, and they would go down to the corner store, to the general store, and they would purchase some goods for 2 eggs. Somebody witnessed somebody buy something with 2 eggs. What will happen in the future, I believe, is that we will find creative ways to exchange outside of that universal currency, because people are going to be hurting if you shut down because you got a moral, or you posted a post, or you did something that pissed the wrong people off and they shut down your money. You're going to still have to feed your family. You're still going to have to survive. And I think people are going to be more opening to trading, physical, tangible goods, to even services. And no longer will you get a folded dollar or a cash out. You may just get a combined service that you need. So I need my car fixed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean your house. I'm going to cut your grass. I'm going to do this for a month or so. And the mechanic is going to fix whatever you need to be fixed. Right? I think it's going to be very creative on what we do. And I think in so many ways, we are resilient people. We're going to come up with some creative ways on how, who to say we may not as a people come up with our own currency. Now, will it get shut down? Probably, yeah. But for the meantime, we might come up with our own thing. But I believe we're resilient. I'm not looking at it as a detriment piece. I really feel like right now we're not controlling nothing, because most of my cash I don't carry, and that's for various reasons. But they can shut it off at any time right now. They can shut my credit card. They can shut my bank account. All I got to do is piss off the wrong people, and they literally can press a button and lock down everything right now. So what's the difference to me? I mean, it's not even mine. If you think about this, we live in a country where, imagine, wrap your brain around this. You don't make the money. We live in a country where we don't make the money. The country, the government itself don't make the money. The federal, the feds, what's the name? Federal, oh man, that's the brain part. But there's a total different. Federal Reserve prints and controls the interest rates, controls how we use it, what's the value of it. They control the whole piece. Now, guess what? The government needs money, right? The government has to have money to operate. They can't operate without government. So what do? They tax us, so that when everywhere we go, everywhere we move, every transaction we get, we pay them. And then we vote in the people that help distribute that wealth, right? We got it all backwards. Here it is where we're working for somebody every time we make a transaction, or we're working for an entity, and we paying that entity, and they don't even create money. They don't even create nothing. They're supposed to be there to serve, to help us in time of need, time of distress. You should not feel guilty because you get a stimulus check. You should not be an anti-government because you get something from something that you paid into for so many years. The whole purpose of government is to help protect us, help sustain this country, help maintain, and it's our backup system if we fall. That's supposed to be what it is. But guess what?
Yeah, and we are the people that pay into it, but yet other people can get all the benefits. Not us, not the people that
Yeah,
pay into the system.
yeah, but this is the thing. This is the crazy thing about that whole thing. If you wrap your brain around this, the federal the Federal Reserve says I'm going to decide how much is distributed. Now, guess what the banks do? The banks take that, and the Federal Reserve say, bring back all your old notes, all the old pieces, and we're going to destroy them, burn them, and melt them down, and then make some new. They just think about this whole thing, man. Really, really just wrap your brain around it. We are going to allow so much money to go out. Now, y'all fight, 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 kill each other, do whatever you need to do for these pieces of uh, tangible goods, and we're going to only limit it. The moment that it's too much, we're going to reduce the production. And then guess what we're going to do? We're going to get you to turn that in through high interest rates. We're going to get you to submit more back to us. And we're going to have the banks to ask for more because the banks don't produce no money either. They invest, but it's still, think about it, it's still the same tangible good that the Federal Reserve made and created. So imagine here I am, I got a printing press and I'm printing out money, and I'd be like, I don't see enough people moving around. So let me slow down the printing press. I'm gonna slow down the printing press. I need more people moving around. Oh, let me speed up the printing press. There they go. Boom, boom, boom. And then you're watching this thing, and then you say, hey, I need that back. I need that back now. I'm gonna put in some things and constraints and some things to bring that money back to me. And then the old money, I'm gonna burn it instead of utilizing it to help or for the better good. I'm gonna burn this. And then I'm gonna turn around and do a new phase, new structure, do a new this, do a new that, and then send it back out. When you wrap your brain
So
around
let
that
me
stuff,
ask you this. So let me ask you this. Are you
man,
giving up your old notes?
I don't care about the old notes. You want to know why I don't care about the old notes? Because they can devalue the
Right.
old note. You know what I care about? Regenerative said the best thing that I've seen in a long time. What about your trade? See, I'm gonna tell you something like this. I'm gonna give you a class example. Say you made $250,000 a year, right? And just say you in jeopardy about to lose your job because your child been sick and you this and you got this 5,000 or let's say $4,000 house payment, this $1,200 car and this and that, and then you need your car working to get to work. And just say I'm the only mechanic in town, or you can't afford a mechanic, right? But here I am, I can fix your car. But if you don't go to work, you can lose your job. I could be broke as a joke, right? But all of a sudden, I could up my game because I can fix your car and you can pay me. And then now you're indebted to me. And I need you to be paying me every single week that you get, or every 2 weeks, the frequency you get paid. And you sign an agreement, you sign a sheet of paper that you're gonna pay me this until it get right. I got power. If I know how to grow some meat, some eggs, some vegetables, I got a skill. I got something that even if I ain't got no money, I can produce something. I can produce something. You know, that skill, that trade thing is real. You know, if I got a degree and if it's because when you think about nursing, think about nursing. Is nursing really like degreed up or is it really a skill in a trade? Anytime you
Mm.
can put your hands to something, put your mind and your hands to work and you produce something, that's a trade. And guess what? Unless they take away even if they take away your hands, unless they take away your mind, you still could share your knowledge. You can still share that trade with others, and it makes you valuable. The most valuable thing is what they took away in schools, which are trades. If you're a tradesman, you can build, you can craft, you can develop something out of thin air. You can take one tree and make a piece of furniture. You can take a piece of metal and make a tool. You know, you can take some air and make power. You can take water and you can cleanse. I mean, when you think about that thing, money all of a sudden start to change its context. You know, if I got 50 people as my customers, one is a doctor, one is a farmer, one is a musician, one is a chef. I got another one, and all of us, we are trading without money. Guess what I would get? I would get to take Gigi out on a romantic dinner. I would take the farmer to bring in the food to my chef. The chef will cook and prepare. My musician will play the music while we listen to it under candlelight. And I actually paid nothing but a given my trade.
Hmm.
That's what we got to get back to. But we so far got our butts up our nose up our butts. We so in our own world, we won't even say, hey. I got people that I speak to and they don't even say nothing. They look at me like I'm stupid
Hmm.
because I said, hey. And we talking about unifying, we talking about organizing. I ain't talking about
Right.
organizing against the government. I ain't talking about no organizing against no government. I'm talking about organizing as sharing resources, sharing talents, and not
Yes.
competing. I am not competing against you, my brother. If anybody think I'm competing against you, you got me. You have not been listening. You ain't been paying attention. The whole thing, what I feel like we should do, we should all share our talents. We should
Mm.
stop trying to be like this person against me, that person against me. Now there's some people out there they against you. Some people are looking for your
And some
demise.
people, and some of them just want to be the only answer. They want to be the only solution to the masses problem. And I'm like, listen, we are going to go so far if we do this thing together. But if all that you can ever see is that everybody got to come to you for everything, you're
That's a
doing the
problem.
people a disservice.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem. Doing the people a disservice. The people, there are billions and billions of people on this planet. So if we just everybody got to come to her for everything, for on every doggone out here, and nobody should listen to nobody else. They should just all come to you. You ain't helping nobody doing that. You're not
Yeah.
helping anybody doing it. I wouldn't be helping anybody with that type of attitude, that type of mindset.
You on the move, Gigi? Cause you cutting out.
I just stopped. I just stopped.
Okay. Okay. You need to be yourself still
Baby, I'm
on
back
your
home now.
listen. Listen. Who telling somebody need to be still on your life?
I'm
But
home now, baby.
yeah, I know that it's hard out there, y'all. I know that you run into these challenges and we are being finessed by by deprived and feeding into this system. But the key is we need a society, y'all. There's nothing wrong with a system, but we just need to check the system. We need to be more uniform in how we can all cohabitate together. But we got to also be mindful of what we're doing because, when people did strikes and stuff like that, they just asking for to be treated fairly. They ain't asking for nothing more, for nothing less. They saying, hey, let me get your attention because right now you're not paying me no attention and you treat me like dirt. And I just need to be treated fairly. And it used to be where if you was a president of a country back in the day, you went to war. You went on the front line. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny how we now it's like it's nothing. We warring in all these different countries, the constant, but nobody in charge. We took away our leaders now. We put our leaders down deep into a bunker or move them to another island and all this stuff to protect this quote leaders. But it's funny that things were more calculated and more thoughtful. There was more negotiation and reasoning, and there was more of agreements with other countries and different places. We always had war. I'm not negating that, but it's funny what we do. And then we're doing all of this stuff. If you think about the majority of the things we do in life, a lot of times, it's all for that dollar. And that dollar that we will never, ever own. I never forget this. And I'm fixing to go ahead and slide off of here. But I never forget this. There was a woman. every Sunday morning. She drove an old green Buick, and it was a four-door green Buick, maybe 60 model, 64, 65. And I want to say it was a Buick Electra. And she drove it every morning to each one of her rental houses. She had rows of gunshot houses, what we call shotgun houses, those little narrow houses that now people paying out the yin yang for. She would go by and pick up the kids because most of the people that lived there, they didn't make a lot of money. They didn't do well, and so their parents were
All
tired
right.
on
Can
Sunday.
y'all hear me?
We can.
Y'all hear me?
Okay,
Yeah.
you cutting out.
Okay.
You still cutting out. But
All right.
but
Let me move.
okay. But
Go. Okay.
you gonna let me go, or you gonna let me go? But
Oh
but
Lord.
this same lady, what she used to do, right? Because the parents were so tired on Sunday, they really didn't get up and go to church because they worked every day, just about every day out of the week. Um, and it was physical jobs back then. But she would come by, she'll blow the horn, and she did two things. She picked up rent and she picked up the kids. She'll pick up the kids and she'll load up, her car will be loaded down full of kids. And she'll take them to church. And she'll take them to church. And the woman was very wealthy. The woman had a lot of money. And the word around town is that she didn't use no banks. She kept all her money in her house. And the word was that people were waiting. She lived a long time. I'm talking about a long time. I don't know how old she was when she passed, but what I heard when she passed, the bulk of her money that she had, it was stashed in multiple places of the house, and mattresses up underneath mattresses and a china cabinet, all up under the refrigerator. Some of them found them behind pictures and everything. They found a bunch of money, and they said the majority of that money was couldn't be used because either it was molded, it was tethered, it was just gone, and they couldn't use the majority of that money because of the condition that it was in. And I'm saying all this to say is we hold this stuff called money to such a high regard, and we just hold it and hold it and hold it. Money wasn't designed to be held. Money was always designed like a river. It was supposed to flow. Anytime that river stops, that's when you get moss, and that's when you get disease, and that's when you get a lot of stuff just sitting there. I'm not negating saving your money for a better day. I'm not negating that. But I'm talking about the over amount of just coveting this stuff. It's people that don't throw nothing away. They call them hoarders. There's people that won't, instead of, they'll let that stuff rot before they'll give it to somebody, before they'll share it with somebody. But at the end of the day, this stuff it's corruptible. So I don't hold high regards to money. I will do whatever the system tells me to do with this digital currency. If I go to work and they put that money in my bank on my digital coin or what have you, I don't care whether it's on a stripe card, maroon card, copper card, gold card. I'm going to swipe it. I'm going to use it. I don't care whether it's a pen, whether it's in my retina, whether it's there. Am I going to voluntarily um, stand in line for somebody to do something to me physically? No. But this world is smarter than that. This world says it's fine. We'll put it in your food. We'll put it in your
Hmm.
shots. We'll put it here. We'll put it wherever we need to put it. We even spray something over your house. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's what as she referred, my sister referred to the beast. A beast, you can't stop no beast unless you eliminate a beast. And my question
Hmm.
is, if you're not prepared to eliminate that beast, then you got to go along with that beast. And how you go along with that beast is you're gonna have to do what you need to do. But we'll get creative enough to find different ways. If that beast is not working in our favor, I know we are smart, creative, and brilliant enough to come up with some ways to work around that. And the more we own our talents and our gifts And the more we are connected to nature and the resources, I think the more valuable we will be, not only that we already are, but how more valuable we will be in the future. Because the stuff that we quote can't afford, we already have at bay. So if you 20, you 27, you got your little property, or you think about buying a little property, and go ahead and plant your trees. Go ahead and plant your infrastructure. Go ahead and plant as much as you can plant. Because some stuff you just ain't gonna have to pay for. Some stuff you just not even gonna have, that's not even gonna be a struggle for you. Some stuff that you took for granted as a kid, guess what happens? It's gonna be you're gonna be rich with it when you become older. So I mean, we just have to tap into our natural gifts and natural resources, and anything that we can think of and dream and imagine, it's a gift from God. We just got to implement it and follow through. Flows like current. Yeah, David. Flows like current. Money, man. Money wasn't designed to just sit there. I mean, that's why they cut the presses off and speed the presses up and slow the presses down. And I say presses so you can have that visual piece, because we already realized that, um, I go to stores and they told me that it's coin shortages. Do you have any coin? This one lady saw me pull out a bag of quarters and she's like, ooh, can I get those quarters? I need some quarters. And I'm like, what you need quarters for? You got money. What you need quarters for? Oh, the bank didn't have enough quarters. They was issuing out only a limited amount of quarters. I'm like, okay. So they shut down the press. They slowed the press down. I got you. Okay. That's fine. This is the way they can get more dollars. We ain't seeing enough dollars. We need more dollars. I mean, it's simple. It's easy. You know. So Regina say eco is right. Um, the rich don't keep money in banks. I don't. I only 10% rest of the money is put back into investments like the stock market, real estate, business to make money, make more money. Yeah. Think about things. Let's think about y'all put in the chat, put 10 things that keeps money coming. And I'm talking about practical things. A gumball machine, a coke machine, a laundry machine, um, stocks, ETFs, dividends. Um, let's just have these conversations. Talk about things that you can put your
Yeah,
money
storage
into.
units. Storage units.
Storage units. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot.
Car washes, ice machines.
Yeah.
There's things that generate money when you ain't there to manage it. You're not there to hold it. Sometimes it's rent, owning real
I
estate.
heard this I heard this one millionaire saying you have to go with the boring businesses. He was like, y'all want to be entertained too much. You want to be entertained too much. You think everything is supposed to be on level 10 all the time. He said, but the people who are making the real money are sitting back making the money. They're
Yeah.
not going all the time. They sitting back making the passive income. So
Well,
if you're the
they said most of the wealthy, um, they invest and we spend. You know,
yes,
I mean, even if you see them driving, just like this one realtor that I was talking to, he was like, he's in Atlanta, and he's like, yeah, I gotta buy that Ferrari because I buy that Ferrari because it's gonna get me more clients. And guess what I do? Because I'm taking them in that Ferrari, I'm writing it off as a business write off. Um, the business is paying for this Ferrari, and my customer and clients they bring me more business to pay for this Ferrari. So you see me in this Ferrari, but it's really like to draw people in. Now, when you're in situations like that, you business minded, you use your own brain. You know what I'm saying? But now, if you just out there saying, "Man, I need me a Ferrari, man. Look at that Ferrari." Yeah, yeah, I get it. You can afford it. You can afford that $2,400 payment, that $2,000 payment. I get it. That's cool. Woo woo, they do. That's
they
fine.
can't. Most of them can't though. That's the problem.
Well, the ones
And
that
I
can,
get it. And
yeah.
I get it in the real estate world. I mean, you saw how I walked out in the real estate world.
I saw
I
you.
mean, it's always, it had to be flash because if you're not, because that's what people buy into. They buy
Mhm.
into the flash. They didn't want the Gigi that wasn't wearing the red lipstick. They didn't want the Gigi that wasn't in a three-piece suit. They didn't want that person. They don't want this person with the t-shirt on. People in that walk of work. So if you're in a certain walk of work and then you got to do that flash, then you do that flash to make whatever you need to make, to do whatever you need to do. But at the end of the day, that same realtor that you were talking to, what he said at the end.
I don't know. Remind me. He said a lot.
he, he was talking about, like, man, this is just for the people. This is
No, yeah.
not me.
This ain't
This is
me.
not
This ain't
me as an individual. This is just
me.
for the people. It's for the environment. It's for the job.
Yeah. I mean, we see it happens every time. During the time we live in the life and feeling it, we don't have it. But I was watching one of the comments prior to that. Um, you got. Can you show that comment one more time? I want to speak a little bit on that.
I don't know which one you talking about.
Okay, most wealthy comes with old money passed down through the generation. Yeah, I mean, well, it's just certain things. Let's be realistic. We talk about the billionaires, first this, the first that, the first that. Don't you realize there are people out here who, what's higher than a tree?
I
What's
don't know.
higher than a tree? Okay, okay, let's play with the tree. Do you not understand that there's people, just single people, that has trillions of dollars?
Yeah.
Wrap your brain around that. Now, do you think in this lifetime, the average, I ain't said anybody, but the average person can reach half of that in their lifetime? Why raising kids? Why owning a home or renting a home or leasing? Or why obtaining a vehicle? Why feeding their children? Why taking their kids to daycare? Why paying taxes? You think the average person working a full-time job is going to be able to do that trillionaire? And I say it time after time after time in our African, beautiful, whatever you want to call us, melanated, African, whatever you want to call it, y'all know what I mean, people that's similar to this coloration. Do you think that we should keep, that is, billion, trillion, zillionaire? So do you think that the majority of us, by ourselves, can generate $1 zillion? Most of this stuff is money stacked on money. And so what you do is you work your best to not leave your kids where you came in at. You do your best not to leave your kids at the starting point where you came in. Now we get some people that are going to say, well, your kids going to squander it all. Your kids, so be it. If they squander it, good for them. I hope they enjoyed it. But if they don't, they can't say that they had to start from the bottom and work their way
Yeah.
to the top. And
Me and
then
Lil
if they're
Gigi was
smart,
having this conversation this morning. This very morning we were having this same conversation, and she was like, "Would y'all even consider selling this land?" Because she asked me if the last house that we sold, she said, "Was that your house?" And I said, "No, it wasn't. It was an investment. It was an investment towards our future. It wasn't our house. The location was right. I knew
and,
that
and
we were gonna make a lot of money off of that house if we bought that house."
and you know something? What happened to us forfeiting our dream and giving it to our kids? What happens to see some of us, we think that's crazy because we're all about self. The reality is I'm at my best making $30,000 or $40,000 a year, and that's been me busting my behind for over the last 30, 40 years. And if I get lucky, my wife might make $20,000 or $30,000 at tops, or 40 or 60 or $80,000. So we're talking about maybe $180,000 to $100,000 a year. And what we have a dream for is for us to be financially sound, financially fit, living in a mansion, living on water, by the golf course, by the tennis course, with all the amenities. The reality is you in your 50s, mid 50s, late 60s, and you've been doing that for the last 50 years. Reality is you probably won't do it. And
Hmm.
does that mean you give up? But you know what it means? It means you leave something so that your kids can at least try to reach that. That means forfeiting your dreams to your next generation. And you talk and you have conversations to them about some of your desires and some of the things you wanted to do. Now they can make the decision where they say, well, that's mama, that's dad, I don't want to do it. But if you cement it and leave it for your kids and your kids' kids, you have planted a seed. And that grandkid or that great grandkid may go back and listen or read the journal or look at the video that that grandparent had and say, I'm pretty well to do, or I am pretty taken and I am very well to do. I'm going to give my grandparents the gift that they always wanted, and I'm going to dedicate it to them. Because at the end of the day, people be like, well, you dead and gone, you don't get to enjoy. That's selfishness. Because the reality is, if you got the $6 million house or you got the $8 million house, you're still going to die. You're still going to be gone. But what about leaving a memory, a legacy, and then
Mm,
paving a way for somebody who's going to benefit it other than you? What about leaving something that's bigger than you?
mm,
You look at the time that the Book of Life spoke about a young individual that lived 33 years on this earth. You think that was about him?
mm.
You think that changed the world? We still talking about it now? You think that was about him? Man, it ain't about the number of years you're on this earth. It's about what you're doing on this earth.
What
It's
you
about
say?
what you're doing. The quality, the quality. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be saying it ain't right. It ain't right that I go to a job and work 8 hours. Give me a job where this is my task and I get paid for it after I complete the task. Right?
Mm.
I like them kind of jobs. I like the job where I go in, I agree to a certain amount, and I say, hey, this is what it's worth, and I get it and I'm gone. Now, if I do it in
Yeah, I
hours,
heard that. I heard that same millionaire that I was talking to earlier say, "Stop getting paid for your time and get
mm,
paid for the results of what you do."
there it is.
So
There it is.
stop telling people that you get paid for your time, because then they can put a limit on what you get paid. But if you
Yeah.
get paid for the results that you give people, you on a whole nother level. Then you can actually start controlling your destiny. You can start buying those. I saw my sister um, say parking lots. One of the things that you want to invest in is parking lots that are near. That was Harmony Gardens. Hey, Harmony Gardens. Hey, Miss Shirley, how you doing? Parking lots near office paid spaces, and we have those in Tallahassee. I know you're experiencing that right downtown right now.
Yeah.
But if you can be the owner of one of those parking lots, and I saw somebody recently just paid like 138,000 for a parking lot. Then within the next 30 to 60 days, they done made already 50 grand back.
So
So
class example. So
that's
class
a really
example.
good one, Harmony Gardens.
Class example. Just say I'm gonna probably be here 3 and 4 days, right?
Hmm.
$60 a day. Every day my truck is in the garage, it's $60 a day.
Wow.
Just sitting
Wow.
there. It's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. Now imagine
Wow.
hundreds of cars doing the same thing. So I heard somebody say courses. I think
Mm.
Robert said courses. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Books. Anytime you're teaching and sharing something, and
Why you think I still teach?
let's get out of not paying people for them teaching you. Let's get out of that
Sure.
mindset. Let's get out of that mindset of not supporting the people that give you a little knowledge. Because guess what? They got to eat too. You know what? They got to eat too. Not only that, you know what they got to do? They got to be able to study some more and give you some more nuggets of stuff that you not either hadn't considered learning or you don't have the time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And regenerative, how you go wrong? 125 grand foreclosure,
Yeah. And it's
330.
now worth 330 grand, over 200 grand in equity. And this is why, and that's what I told little Gigi this morning. I said, baby, listen, I said, you got to get in the game. You have to get in the game. Yes, we're going to have something for you. And she was like, you really would consider selling all of this land? And I was like, absolutely we would consider selling this land. And she was like, and so what would you like, what would you go to? Like her 18-year-old mind, she is like, dang, if you're gonna sell 20 acres, then what would you, how would you trump that? And I'm
You
like,
know,
listen,
some people,
even if even if we took the 20 acres and made all of the equity off of the land that we have now, and then put it in another property, then guess what's going to happen? It's still going to grow in equity. Or we
yeah,
put it in a business, we get employees to run it so that as we get older, guess what we doing? We making sure that the business stays running. And otherwise, we sitting on the beach. We enjoying our life. We're doing
yeah.
things that we want to do for a change. Go ahead, baby.
If you got $1 million asset, future, just say you got a future $1 million asset, a future $1 million asset. It does not matter what form that $1 million asset in. Yeah, a lot of us, we get hung up on one or two things. It's just like I view for the future that one of my generations will easily be able to get $1 million for them 20 acres, without a doubt. Now, a million may not be as worth much as it is now, but it's still something. I mean, most of us, if we be honest, what were we left with, or what did we have to start off with? But if that $1 million is wrapped into bonds, stocks, if it's wrapped into cash, if it's wrapped into assets, if it's wrapped into multiple things, right? It could be a business. People sell businesses, just in case you don't know. People sell equipment, just in case you didn't know. So any type of tangible asset, you can liquidate it. And that's why I say you have to be creative. I know this one guy, he worked on cars. When he left this earth, you know what he left? He left rare, unique, old cars that he built, that he kept to the best. And guess what? One of his sons, he got in some hard times. He sold one of them Mopars, and that's all. If y'all a car guy, you know what I'm talking about. He had a Mopar with a little bird on it, and he sold that for 125 back in the early 2000s. 125, 125,000 for a car. He left his son pretty good, right? Which he
Mm-hmm.
was able to buy a house. You know, I mean, then I watch people who do stuff like this. And this is what I mean by good intentions, but your kids cannot live your dream, and times change. Times change, and your children have to move according to the time. So back in the days, agriculture was the thing. The more land you own, the more wealth you could produce. But times change with technology and different stuff like that. Now we watch some people who left land and they locked it down with a will, and that will said that you shall not sell it. It must stay in the family. It must get handed down from generation. They call it a trust. They hand it down from generation to generation to generation. Now, long ago, when people was in the agriculture, that was a good thing. But now, if you don't actively stay alive and on top of that ag game, and if you're not willing to sell your soul to government loans and government funds and all that kind of stuff, and then change up your crops based on this and change this up and keep your farming establishment, and you get one generation who just paid the taxes and then it diminished, then the next generation has all this land, 100, 200, 300 plus acres, it becomes a burden to them. And now they still trying to hold on to your tradition 2 and 3 generations later, instead of giving them the liquidity, the assets, the empowering them to be able to make the right decision, because you raise your children right. You raise them to make the right decision, and you hope and you pray that they would do it. And so you put things in place. You might put some milestones. If you go to college, you will get this. If you graduate from college, you can liquidate this. You can put some things like that on there, but still let your kids live and make it free to them, so they can be a little bit better than where you were when you started out.
Yeah, because like they are so much smarter.
Yeah.
I know my girls, they're so much smarter than me. And even the oldest daughter, she is always like, I'll think that like I'm fixing to break her off on something, fixing to give her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know, mom." And then she started telling me some stuff, and I'm like, "Dang!" Like I didn't even realize that she was even on that. But just just over the years, I think just over the years, watching the things that we have done, they will take what you do, what they see you do, they'll take that and they'll take it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
So for us, I'm just like I'm grateful that I'm a talker, and that I do use teachable moments with my kids, and they used to always, make fun and be like, yeah, everything is a teachable moment with our parents. Well, yeah, because we want you to be able to take care of yourself. We want to make sure that if something happens to us while we on the road, which we always on the road, then you guys know you have some sort of idea of who you can go to. You have some sort of idea of how you can keep money coming to yourself,
Mhm.
utilizing for well just the real estate game, utilizing the real estate game in order to help you understand how to get more and more. And then guess what? You're the landlord now. You don't have to be
Mhm.
taken advantage of anymore by by those predatory landlords out there. And let me just say this, there are a lot of good landlords out there. But when it comes down to everything increasing and money, they're gonna go with the money. You got to understand. And some of them
Well,
are not even doing it for the purposes of just getting the money, just making things hard for you.
and I mean,
Some
I
of them
mean,
are actually trying to keep up just like you're trying to keep up.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's humans involved in business, but at the end of the day, the majority of this stuff is business. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I mean, let's not negate that business owners has to be responsible for their business, right? Now,
Hmm.
is there limits, and should there be some human compassion? Only a little bit, because at the end of the day, this is business,
Hmm.
and we just have to understand that what's fair. Some people say life is not
Life
fair.
ain't.
Okay, okay. If life ain't fair, then what you got to do in an unfair condition? You got to play to
Yeah, you
win.
got to learn to
You got
play
to
the
position
game.
yourself to. And things change. Okay, they change the rules. Okay, they're gonna change the rules. Just understand, by the time you get your stride, the rules gonna change. But after a
They're
while,
gonna change.
you're gonna start learning that. Okay, I'm getting my stride. Let me be prepared for these rules to change. We got to be more mindful, that understand that. Okay, this is good for right now. I'm pretty comfortable, but I know things gonna change. It's almost like you start a job, and you go to the job, you're loving it. You're loving the atmosphere, you're loving the pay, you're loving everything. The second thing, once you learn your job, get good at what you're doing, the second thing should be popping in your head is things finna change. Now where am I at? Well, you evaluate yourself. What am I doing? Understand that things gonna change. Is that fair? I don't know. If everybody's being affected by this change, I think that's fair. That's what I consider fair. But if it might be something just only to you, and they's isolated, that might not be fair, right? So you just have to but what do you do? If it ain't fair, what do you do? Okay, either you stop playing the game, or you find something else to do, or if you're gonna stay on the game, you have to adjust to those times. So it
You
is what
have
it
to
is.
adjust.
Yeah.
You have to adjust because Grand Acre said it ain't fair until you are the landlord. and,
Yeah, and
and
you
you're
right.
right.
And you watch, like, if you say, okay, I live in another town, I live in another city, or I'm not physically able to maintain these buildings, and I'm paying for a property manager to maintain, and then the property managers are trying to do their best to maintain that building, then they got to go up on their rates, because they require more work, because now it's harder to find people to come and fix things, to hold them accountable. They doing more work on handling your property, and then the service guy says, hey, it costs a little bit more for the bug ingredients for the bug spray and the landscaping, and say the gas going up, and I had to buy some new equipment. My rates went up. Guess what? Everything going up, and you expect for
And the
nothing to
taxes
go up.
going up. The
you expect
taxes
to let
going
it
up
go
and
up,
the insurance is going
insurance
up.
going up, all of that
Who's
going up.
having to pay it?
And then you go back to repaint it, you go back to do some
Yeah,
enhancements or do this. Guess what? It got to be somebody got to pay it.
yeah.
Somebody got to pay it. So
And that's why
so
we have to be forever thinking, how
yeah,
can I increase my income? And if you're not that go getter type of person or entrepreneur mindset or whatever, then you
invest,
have to be
invest,
thinking,
invest.
how can I reduce what is going out from the income that I already have?
Yeah, but yeah, reduce it. I totally agree. That reducing is stabilizing the current situation. Just remember, every time you reduce your expenses, you all you're doing is treating the bleeding patient. You're covering up the wound. But go ahead. The end of the box is going back to what you said. You're gonna have to increase your income. How can I increase my income? If I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not that person to go and do this as far as entrepreneur, then you may need to be stacking, learning about investments, learning about putting things in vehicles that work for you instead
Mhm,
of trying to pursue these entrepreneur goals, the entrepreneur dream. The key is you're going to have to increase your income. Nothing
mhm,
stays the same. Everything is fluid. Remember, uh, money is like water. Money is like water. It has to move. And typically, most of the time, it don't move down. And if it does move down, it's only temporary. Every time money or consumer goods go down, it's there to stimulate something called inflation. And all it's doing is getting you prepared for what's to come. So it's all good. It's all good.
mhm. Well,
All
Eco
right.
Neighbor, you
Yeah.
have said a whole
No, you said a lot.
just lifetime worth of greatness today. And I really appreciate you coming up. And
I
I
would,
thank you very much.
you
And
know
thank
what,
you all.
beautiful. You know what, beautiful. I just shared some experiences that we have overcame in life.
Mm,
That's what I shared. And you know what? Until you use them and apply them, and then you become successful with them, it turns into greatness. Otherwise, they're just words and experiences.
amen
That's
to
it.
that. Amen to that. Well, thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. I know I've been gone for a long time, for a little over a month now, from doing live streams, but back, baby. I'm back. I'm back. All right. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you all. And thank you for the ones who are in here sharing information, um, giving gems to the people, because that is what we are here for. We are here to help as much as humanly possible. And so I really appreciate it. I'm sure Eco appreciates it as well. And thank you for your attentive ears.
Yeah,
And
you
share
know
this
what?
live stream out if you don't mind. And go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, you know what? I really appreciate y'all too, man. A lot of y'all have been very supportive of the channel, not only with
Yes,
Gigi's channel, but Eco Neighbors channel as well. And I really sincerely appreciate that, y'all. And a lot of y'all have gave me a lot of inspire. I've met some amazing people over this YouTube streets, as we call it. And I just want to
yeah.
continue to say, y'all continue to be in who you all are. You're beautiful people. You're blessings to the world. And I thank you so much and appreciate the encouragement, because without that encouragement, I'm telling you, I would have been folded in. I would have been packed my bags and found something else to do. I'm telling you, Lord knows I would have done that a long time ago. So your words are not in vain. Your encouragement helps me to let me know I'm going on the right path. And it's quality over quantity. It's quality
There you
over
go.
quantity.
There you go.
Y'all,
And we
let's just
quality up in
let's
here.
move it. Let's move as such. Let's move as such. Quality over quantity, y'all.
Yes. All right. Well, y'all have a great day and enjoy your Sunday. And peace and blessings to each and every one of you.
Grow.